Hey sweet besties, welcome to the Lucy Chronicles. Today's video is going to be the coffee book tag. So I was not tagged by anyone in particular. I recently saw Amanda over at Book Lover Amanda do this tag, saying that she wasn't going to tag anybody specifically, but that if anyone wanted to do the tag, to consider themselves tagged. I am like a coffee snob. Today I'm drinking a Caribou blend. It's the medium roast, I believe, is what we have here. And then there's a little bit of eggnog mixed in, as well as a splash of cinnamon brown sugar syrup. It is literally heaven. It is so, so good. Like, I wish y'all could taste it. It's so good. Anyway, the tag has 8 questions, so hopefully I don't jibber jabber too much. Y'all know I can talk about books. I'll do the best I can to keep things concise, but let's go ahead and jump in. So the first prompt is black. Name a series that's tough to get into but has hardcore fans. The first one that immediately comes to mind is Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. That series is so beloved and so popular in BookTube, and I started reading the first book and I just was bored. I DNF'd it like 10 chapters in. I don't like saying that things are hard DNFs. When it's a book that just bored me, there's almost always the potential that I could go back and try it again. The only time it's really ever a hard DNF for me is if it's because of content. So I'm not gonna say I'll never ever read them. I just really don't have a strong desire to right now. There are lots of other things I'd rather read. That's very unarticulate, but let's move on. Prompt number 2, Peppermint Mocha. Name a book that gets more popular during the winter or a festive time of year. I just joined Christian BookTube in like February of this year, so I really don't know. But one that I would say I tend to gravitate towards over the holidays and that I'm constantly coming back to is Little Women. And it's because it starts out like the opening scene takes place during Christmas, and it's very nostalgic for me. This is one of the very first books I ever like one of the first classics that I fell in love with. I just love the writing, I love the characters, I love the story, and it's so comforting, and it's considered a Christmas book. So I don't know, I feel like I'm not explaining myself very well, but like I love it so much. I love my copy. It's the Reader's Digest, and it's really cute cover, and look at it's got some illustrations. That's so beautiful. And like, it's not all like colored illustrations throughout, but there are some illustrations. So, and I got it for $3.75. I don't know if y'all can see that, but so yeah, so that is my answer for that. I would also say Harry Potter is one that I gravitate towards over the holidays, because Christmas is a magical time of year, and Harry Potter is such a magical book and such a lovely story, and there are several scenes in the book that take place during Christmas. The first Christmas particularly is heartwarming to me. Harry gets a Christmas sweater from Mrs. Weasley, and it's just so lovely and charming and just lovely. I don't have any other adjectives. So prompt number 3, hot chocolate. What is your favorite children's book? I loved the Berenstain Bear books as a kid. I actually have a few here that we recently picked up at the Goodwill. The Berenstain Bears on the Moon. I don't know if I ever read this one. All of the ones that I had growing up were the thin, like the paperback ones. These are all harder covers. This was Berenstain Bears on the Moon. I found these for like 50 cents at the Goodwill. Bears on Wheels. Berenstain Bears, the A book. This one I never read. This one I did. Berenstain Bears B book. This one is awesome. And I'm going to start collecting some more like children's books, because I'm going to start a series on my channel, hopefully over the holidays, called Storytime with Lucy, And it's just gonna be me reading kids books. So this is very nostalgic. I read this a lot. My sister and I did when we were little. Anything Berenstain Bears. Yes. Number 4, Double Shot of Espresso. Name a book that kept you on the edge of your seat from start to finish. So unfortunately, I only have 2 of the 3 books, but I had to mention this trilogy because literally this trilogy is so good. And I didn't binge it, and it's because of availability. At the time, I had book 1 from the library. Book 2 was not there, so I had to wait for a book 2. And book 3 was not there when I finished book 2, so I had to wait for book 3. But that is the If I Run trilogy by Terry Blackstock. This trilogy is so good, you guys. Like, it's so thrilling. It is a ride. So I have the first and the second book, or the first and the third. I still need to get my hands on If I'm Found, which is the second book. But essentially, in this trilogy, we follow Casey Cox, who has been wrongfully accused of murdering her best friend. And rather than turn herself in, she decides to become a fugitive and run. She just believes that the cops system is dirty and that no matter what she does, they're going to find a way to, incarcerate her. So she runs to try to clear her name and to bring the true killer to light. Well, in the meantime, the victim's parents have hired a PA who happens to be a Afghanistan or Iraqi veteran. I can't remember which. And he was a profiler. And so they hire him to apprehend Casey, and he has PTSD. That's kind of the premise. I don't want to say too much more because I don't want to ruin anything, but it's so fast-paced. Faith content in here is so, like, Terry Blackstock is just so good at writing faith. Like, I don't know, I just love it. The romance felt a little flat for me, if I'm being honest, but the character arcs and the story and just the fast-pacedness of it, I just 100%. This is like, y'all need to read this if you haven't. It's so good. I need to make Steve read it because I think he would love it, but so good. So, okay. Prompt number 5 is Starbucks. Name a book you see everywhere. I mostly go to thrift stores. I don't do a ton of like bookstore shopping unless they're like used bookstores, and we only have one here in the town I live in. I go up to Half Price Books in the Twin Cities quite a bit. Otherwise, I really only go to Barnes & Noble, and that is only if I'm like just wanting to browse or just sit somewhere and read. I will rarely pay full price for a book. One that I literally feel like I see in every thrift store, in every Goodwill, every secondhand bookstore that I go into is The Purpose Driven Life by Rick Warren. And I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing because I haven't read the book. I own it, ironically enough. And my church that I grew up in, not the church I'm at right now, but the church I grew up in, they did a whole study on this as a congregation. And it was such a huge thing. Like, this was a movement, y'all. This was like a phenomenon. And I really want to read it. And I think I got through like day 3 and then I fell off the bandwagon. But there went my ring light. My ring light has been having issues lately, you guys, and it's new. So I really don't know what's up with it. But it's really kind of irritating me.
Because I just got it and it just keeps like freezing out on me. Like it'll just turn off mid-filming and it's really irritating.
It's everywhere. I find it everywhere. I see it everywhere. So, editing Lucy here once again. I just realized I deleted all of the footage where I talked about Percy Jackson. That is another book that I literally see everywhere in like the retail stores. So like at Barnes & Noble, Walmart, Target. It's everywhere. And I think it's because of the TV show or movie that's recently come out. So, yeah. But that one's very, very popular and all over the place. I think they just came out with like new editions or something like that. But I'll put a picture here because I'm doing sprints and I don't want to get up and go grab my copy. I have 2 copies of the first Percy Jackson book. But anyway, haven't read it. but I've heard it's good, and I do plan to read it. It's on my TBR, but also I'm in a different shirt because it's a different day, and I'm on sprints. So, all right, editing Lucy out. Okay, question number 6. That hipster coffee shop. Give a book by an indie author a shout out. Okay, so this author, I don't think she's indie anymore. I'm pretty sure she's with Bethany now, but I still need to give her a shout out. I'll mention another one in a minute, but Courtney Walsh, her Holidays with Heart books are so cute. Like, I'm obsessed. I am vying for book 3. So this is the first book, My Phony Valentine. This follows Poppy and Dallas. This is a fake dating sports romance. He is this hunky hockey player. He's really, really famous, but he's kind of developed a bad reputation of being like the bad boy of hockey. He's made some stupid mistakes, gotten into some trouble, kind of a womanizer, and now he's kind of like looking at some consequences for that behavior. Poppy is a small town girl. She's the girl next door. She owns a restaurant. She's like the chef at this restaurant. And her restaurant is in dire straits. And so they start fake dating to help her business, but also to help his image. It is so cute. It's absolutely adorable. There is a scene where Dallas's abs are being described, and it's really cringy, and there's lots of secondhand embarrassment. But aside from that, this book was so cute. It's not Christian per se. It's clean, very clean. Courtney Walsh is a Christian. There's Christian elements in there, like there's a point where they pray over their food and Christian morals throughout it, but there's not like any like faith content, if you know what I'm saying. It's not marketed as a Christian book that I know of. Although I think it's in the Christian section at Barnes & Noble now, which is why I'm saying I don't think she's indie published anymore. The second book is about Poppy's little sister Eloise, has Grayson or Gray, who gets recruited by Dallas, and he's not happy about it. We got the single dad trope in here. We've got the grumpy sunshine, and it's really cute. And I loved it. The third book is going to be their oldest sister, Rhea's story. She has not announced when it's coming out. I think she announced that she's got the holiday chosen and she's got a title, but she's not told us when it's going to be released, and I don't think she started penning it yet. But I hope that it's Halloween, and I hope that the cover's orange, and so that's the first one. I also want to give a shout out to Anna Conwell because she's so good. I think Amanda talked about her too. Her Sweet Peach series, so cute. Love it so much. I think the first one's called The Love Audit. The second one I think is called One More Song or One Last Song. The third one I believe is called A Taste. The First Taste. The fourth one I believe is, I don't remember them all, but they're very cute. It's like roommates. They're all roommates and they're love stories. And then Anna Conwell, I believe, is Christian as well. Savannah Scott, y'all. Savannah Scott is another one who I just adore. I'm working my way through the Getting Shipped series, which is basically like a clean version of Friends, the TV show. So cute. So cute. Her writing is adorable and very clean, very innocent, super wholesome, all the things. And yeah, that was a lot of rambling for that question, but okay. Question number 7 is, oops, I accidentally got decaf. Name a book you were expecting more from. Editing Lucy here, guys. So I decided to change my answer for this question because I originally said Wistress, and I just feel like all I do is hate on Wistress lately, and I don't want to do that. So I decided to change my answer to Offsides by Lori Z. Scott. This book is about a girl named Danny who is a senior in high school. She's on the soccer team. She's very, very good, but she's under lots of pressure, and she somehow gets pulled into a human trafficking, like child trafficking scenario thing. And I buddy read this with Celestia back in July, and I just had higher expectations going in because it's one of the books that Katie told us was a 6-star for her. And so her and I both kind of went in thinking that it was going to just be like mind-blowing amazing, and it just fell a little flat for me. I didn't particularly love the romance. I didn't particularly love the writing. I didn't love the protagonist. I thought Danny was a little bit annoying, if I'm being honest. And I felt like it took too long to get to the, like, child trafficking subject matter. It just felt like it dragged on and on and on. Like, for the first, like, probably 2/3 of the book, it felt like nothing was happening. And CeCe, I think, felt very similar feelings about the book that I did, and it just didn't hit the right notes for me. I think it was maybe a 3 stars. It might have been like a 2.5 star for me. I can't really remember. I'll have to go check my Goodreads, but yeah, I decided that one was probably actually more accurate because I went into Wistress not really expecting to like it. So I feel like it wasn't that I was disappointed, and it wasn't that I expected more from it, because I kind of went in expecting that I probably wasn't going to like it. Anyway, back to filming Lucy. Bye. Question number 8. The perfect blend. Name a book or series that was both bitter and sweet, but ultimately satisfying. I'm going to be very cliche and say Harry Potter, because there are some very, very sad, bitter, frustrating moments in the series, but the ending, so epic. So epic. And there's so many sweet, wonderful moments in it too, and just the allegory, the Christian allegory, y'all. It's so good. I have my whole Harry Potter shelf right here. I don't even have half of the editions that they have out right now. It's sad. I feel like a really bad fan, but yeah. It's so good. It's so good. Please read Harry Potter, y'all. It's so good. So that is the coffee book tag, y'all. I hope you enjoyed it. It was super fun. I will link Amanda's video down below. Definitely go check it out. Go subscribe if you aren't for whatever reason. Today, I think I'm going to tag a few friends. I'm going to tag Micah over at Authentic Story Making. I'm going to tag Anne over at In Search of Wonder, because she is like the coffee connoisseur. And I'm going to tag my girl CeCe over at Celestias. Editing Lucy here. I also want to tag Cheryl over at Candlewick Library. Only because I know she's never drank coffee, or maybe she's had like a sip. So I'd just be curious to hear her answers. And then also Reese over at the Writing Songbird. So hopefully you guys will do this tag, no pressure, but it would be super fun to hear your answers. I have my recommendations video for the Tinsel and Tales readathon coming very soon, as well as the recent reads hopefully coming. So definitely turn the notifications on so you don't miss those. I love you guys so much. I'll see you guys very soon with another video. Bye.